As we head into NFL Week 5 here, there's a lot of games that matter. Obviously, I know that we're not even really close to the playoffs yet, but when you get to games in division like one in the NFC North that will play out between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears, yeah, it gets interesting. These games really start to matter, especially when you get down the stretch. And so, obviously when you start games out like this, you kind of don't really see the purpose of it, or, may not be much of a sense of urgency. But now these are truly when the games do start to matter. So, today as we look to preview the Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears matchup, there's a lot of different things that I think both teams are going to look at doing. And obviously on paper, we'll start with the depth charts here. Yes, we'll get into the injury report, so I know that there's some things going on there. But yes, on paper, I would actually want to start up by talking about the Bears here, because I really feel like the Bears low-key might have a very promising offensive line in a lot of different ways. Like Cody Whitehair, I know that they placed him on IR, but Braxton Jones is a very respectable left tackle. He's had a solid rookie year so far. Larry Borum, I really liked what I saw from him last year. And then Tevin Jenkins moving into guard. I think you're really going to start to see some good things from this Bears offensive line. Has there been learning curves? Yes, absolutely. I don't think anybody is here to debate that, but I do think that at the end of the day, the Bears are in a good spot here, with Justin Fields and this offensive line. I think it's at least heading in the right direction. I mean, we've seen some bad offensive lines, especially, with me being a Vikings fan and everything. So, the Bears, to be honest with you, they've only attempted like 67 passes, which, I mean, I think it's more of an indicator of the actual weapons. Now, outside of Darnell Mooney, I'm really excited to really see how Amir Smith-Marsette and Velus Jones Jr. Really do start to separate themselves and hopefully become big offensive weapons for the Bears. Also, Treston Ebner, I believe he's going to be something to watch as well down the line. As far as the Vikings, yes, you're coming off kind of an emotional win over the Saints there, and I think that they are in a good spot as well with their offensive line. I mean, Ed Ingram to me really was the missing piece, but the Kirk Cousins and company, he's done a better job with better protection, but I am really interested to see how it will shape up with Dalvin Cook running the football, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, all those guys able to make things happen here. And so they've got an improved offensive line. They've really, when they're able to run the football, they're a more successful football team. And I do think that down the line, the Vikings will seriously have to take a look at, obviously incorporating more of Ty Chandler, Kene Nwangu, and really see how that all kind of comes together. And obviously, yes, you're 3 deep at wide receiver with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and KJ Osborne. Also, I'm really, really excited to see how they use Jalen Reagor down the line, because I do think he is going to be a player that you got to watch. And then defensively, yes, like I said, we'll get into the injury reports in just a second, but the Vikings have had a tough time stopping the run, despite the fact that they have Dalvin Tomlinson and Harrison Phillips. I think you've got two big guys in the middle there that should be able to do something, but it's been tough. Jonathan Bullard there in there as well. It's just they haven't stopped the run, and that's where the Bears are most effective. I think they are currently third in the NFL and able to run the ball early and often and effectively. So, I think if you're going to stop a team like the Bears, you got to hope that those big guys up front can do something. Or at least be able to set the tone up front. And then at linebacker, yes, you're looking and you're really liking what you see in Danielle Hunter, even though he's got off to a slow start this year. Za'Darius Smith, has been really the only consistent pass rusher for the Vikings. So I'm really interested to see how Danielle Hunter gets started against the Bears. And then on the inside there, Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks, I'm really interested to see how Brian Asamoah does get incorporated here, because I do think towards the end of the season, he's going to be a starter. But Jordan Hicks, he's not most effective in coverage, but he is able to go in and tackle the ball carrier, which is what you want on those inside guys anyway. So and then on the outside, yes, Patrick Peterson, Cameron Dancer, who stepped up in a lot of ways this year. Also Andrew Booth Jr., a guy you're going to want to watch, as well as a Caleb Evans. I'm really excited to see how those younger players get incorporated here moving forward. Harrison Smith and Cameron Bynum, and I know Lucina was placed on IR. Again, nothing but prayers involved for him moving forward, but between Bynum and Smith and Metellus, I think the Vikings are in good shape with their safeties. And then on the defensive side of the football for the Bears, Robert Quinn is still a stud. I know that, I believe he was an ailment was of some kind was in the discussion there. We'll get into injuries in just a second, but really, This defense, to me, is actually a lot better than people think. They've got a great secondary. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, all those guys. Jalen Johnson, they do have a very good secondary here. Then in the middle of it all, you got Roquan Smith, who's just an absolute stud. So the Bears defense, I don't think is going to take as long as a lot of people think to. I don't think there's a whole lot that you really need to do, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So, and then as we get into the injury reports here, so for the Vikings, actually we'll start out with the Bears since we're right here, I guess. So the Bears, it looks like Dane Cruikshank, the DB, is going to be doubtful. He did not participate on Wednesday or Thursday, was limited on Friday. Usually when they're upgraded like that, it means they might play. So same thing with Jalen Johnson. He's been an absolute stud for the Bears. Did have a little bit of injury history coming out, but I do think that, since he was limited on Friday, that could mean something good for him moving forward. And then the only other player, David Montgomery, did not participate on Wednesday, was limited on Thursday, but was a full participant on Friday. I think he's going to go. I think he's going to be a guy that continues to run the football. I think he's probably licking his chops a little bit, seeing what the Vikings did on the Vikings run defense has done thus far. So, a couple of DNPs between Jalen Jones as well, but as well as with David Montgomery early in the week, but they look to be full goes. Justin Jones was a limited participant on Thursday and Friday after not participating on Wednesday. So, I do think that it is going to be very interesting to see how it all does pan out, because I don't know. I think the dash means they participated. Anyway, the point is you kind of get an idea there. We're going to see if we can see if Cruikshank as well as Jalen Johnson do play, but I think David Montgomery as well as Justin Jones, there's a good shot there. Justin Jones, like I said, I would really like to see him out there as well. So then for the Vikings, Andrew Booth Jr., he's had that quad injury for a couple of weeks now, was limited on Wednesday and Thursday, was a full participant on Friday, so it looks like he might be able to go, even though he is questionable. Ben Ellefson seems to be the only one that's out for the Vikings. Did have that groin injury on Thursday. Did not participate on Friday. Sometimes those things take some time. So, and then Jalen Naylor was limited on both Thursday and Friday for the Vikings, so we'll see if he is able to go against the Bears. But like I said, I think there's a lot of interesting things that are going to go on in this game. Injuries, they could play a bigger role than a lot of people think. I do absolutely full 110% believe that. So as we kind of look forward to the keys of the game here, which I'm getting up, I think it's very simple. I think if you're the Vikings, you got to stop the ball, run the ball, get the weapons involved, and make Justin Fields beat you, because at the end of the day, Justin Fields and the Bears, they haven't attempted a ton of passes. It's been mainly running the football, and they do it effectively. So if you can stop the run and make Justin Fields beat you with Darnell Mooney and company, I think you look in pretty good shape, though. I do not sleep on Darnell Mooney. He's an absolute stud. Bears keys to the game, I think you got to, it's amazing how important running the football is. The thing is, you don't even have to run the ball for over 300 yards. If you can just do a good enough job of being able to, stop the run and just run the ball 3 or 4 yards a carry, I think it really does bode well for your football team. And I think that between the Bears, if they can stop the run and as well as establish the run, they're going to look good. I put it there twice because, that's what the Bears' bread and butter has been over the last couple of games. So then you have to get it after Kirk Cousins as well. Kirk Cousins, he's usually a very ineffective quarterback when he's pressured, and he's usually pressured a lot with that offensive line. Getting after Garrett Bradbury will definitely be the key for the Bears. So I do think that, when you just look at things, from that perspective and how you do expect them to be able to come out for both teams, I think that, establishing the run is definitely the number one thing for both teams. So like I said, I'm excited for this game. I think that both teams are in a good spot heading forward into week 5 here. The Vikings 3-1, the Bears at 2-2. So, somebody's going to be 3-2 at the end of it. Well, most likely. Hopefully we don't get a tie, but you know what? I think it's going to be an exciting game, and I think that both teams are going to get after it and find a way to make this one interesting, especially in the NFC North. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so make sure you guys give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our Week 5 preview for the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings.